Village of Green Island will hold a public hearing on Monday, March 21st, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. at the Green Island Municipal Center, 19 George Street, Green Island, New York. The purpose of the public hearing is to consider local law number 1 of 2022, a local law entitled to opt out of the exemption from taxation for certain energy systems under real property tax law, subsection 487, as most recently amended by Chapter 59 of the Sessions of Law of 2021. All interested parties may appear and be heard. The notice is dated March 10th, 2022.
Thank you, Ann. I don't know if Joe or if Maggie, whoever wants to explain this.
You want me to go?
The state law, in its wisdom, has provided very significant reductions in taxability to energy systems that are described as solar or wind energy systems, which were constructed subsequent to the date of this local law, and for micro hydroelectric energy systems, fuel cell electric generating systems, micro combined heat power generating systems. So if we do not opt out of it, we will not have the ability to collect taxes on the fair market value of those facilities. And so, in order to make sure that the taxpayers of the village are protected to the extent we are capable of protecting them, if this law is adopted, we will be able to tax any of those facilities at the fair market value, as opposed to a much reduced assessment value which the state has formulated. Want to add to that?
No, that pretty much covers it. Basically saying if we don't opt out, any one of those energy producing systems would get a 15-year property tax exemption, most of them at wholly exempt. So there's a lot of infrastructure money out there for green energy, and although we are in favor of green energy systems, they are income producing properties. So by opting out of this exemption, it will let them be on the taxable portion on the roll versus wholly exempt.
Do we have any comments from the public? If not, anything from the board? If not, we'll close the public hearing and we will call to order the regular board meeting of the Green Island Board. Ann, could we have the roll call, please?
Mayor McNulty Ryan.
Present.
Executive Assistant Maggie Alex.
Present.
Trustee Files.
Present.
Trustee Jones.
Present.
Trustee Belakapitsky.
Present.
Trustee McGivern.
Present.
Trustee Vieira.
Present.
Trustee Johnson.
Present.
And Attorney Legnard.
Present.
It's nice to see everybody back and not on Hollywood Squares anymore. We have nothing for public forum? Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Everyone has it. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
If not, can I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make the motion.
No, minutes.
Minutes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I already checked it off, so. Everyone has a copy of the minutes. Does anyone have any corrections, additions, deletions? If not, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Okay, now can we pay the bills?
No,
Communications.
I said we didn't have any.
Oh, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Oh, I did that one first. Everyone has a copy of the claims. Does anyone have any questions? Because Michelle is here and she can answer them, and so can Larry. If not, can I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next on the agenda is the submittal of the monthly report by the treasurer. Everyone has a copy. Does anyone have any questions? If not, could I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Make the motion. She won more.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the police activity report. Everyone has a copy. Could I have a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the fire department report for February 2022. Everyone has a copy. Could I have a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the monthly report of the Parking Violations Bureau. Everyone has a copy. Could I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the adjustments to the water and sewer bill. I think everything is routine in that. Does anyone have any questions? If not, could I have a motion to make the adjustments to the water and sewer billing?
Make the motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of setting a date for the budget hearing for the fiscal year 2022-2023. The proposed date is Monday, April 11th, 2022 at 5 p.m. right here. Can I have a motion to set the date?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of authorizing the mayor to sign the, isn't a misprint, it's the 2021 Albany County Youth Bureau funding contract. It's a yearly item. Do you want to make a comment on it? They give us-
No, this is a annual contract that we submit for. It's basically a grant that we reimburse some of our expenses for the summer program. So we'll be getting back $3,000 for our 2021 expenses.
So I thought it was a typo on the thing, but they said no, it lags.
We're
a year,
lag,
so.
yeah.
So could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Did you get them both in?
Barb and Bob.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of adopting the proposed local law number 1 of 2022 to opt out of the exemption from the taxation of certain energy systems under the real property law subsection 487. Does anyone have any questions on that? If not, could I have a motion to adopt local law number 1?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of a monthly recap of everything that the GIPA and DPW have been doing in the last month. And the pages seem to be getting longer every month for everything that they're doing. And at our GIPA meeting, I just noted that, you know, we don't have an awful lot of people that work to get the job done that they get done. And those last 2 storms we had, fortunately we didn't get as much as, well, one we got more than what they said we were gonna get, and the other one we didn't get as much, but the guys did a great job, and the residents were very cooperative these last 2 storms, which made it a lot easier. And I said, it's not the end of the season, we could still get snow, so I hope I'm not cursing myself, but this is, I think, the 3rd time in the 20 years that I've been doing this that we haven't had a curb to curb in the winter season. So we saved a lot of money because people don't realize it isn't just the guys on that are working. We have independent contractors who come in and take the snow away from the corners, and sometimes that costs us more than what the actual snow removal does. Does anyone on the board want to make any comments about all the work that they've been doing?
I would like to know how many people actually work on between the both entities.
All of them do.
I know how many.
6.
There's 6.
There's 6.
Yeah. And they really, and they're very good about keeping Maggie and I on track. Like the last one that came in on a Friday, they had to come in on overtime on Saturday, and they split the shifts up. And that's important for 2 reasons. Number one, the money that you have to spend, but more importantly to me, that the guys go home and rest in between, because you don't want anybody out for 24 hours running those big plows and, you know, falling asleep. So they really are working very, very hard up there. And the other comment I want to make is, you know, Michelle and Maggie have been working very hard on the budget, and we've been doing a lot of talking, and I just can't get over how well our employees cooperated for these last 2 years during COVID. Everybody taking on extra jobs and, you know, helping one another out, and it's kind of like there is no blur between departments. Whatever you need, they're there, and that it just makes me so proud of the people that work here. They really do work very, very hard, and if you get a chance and you see anybody, give thank you to them, because it's nice to know you're appreciated. So
I have a question, if I can ask this.
legally you can't, but go ahead.
When you have the snow removal and you say you want the residents to move their car, so we have 2 blocks that are usually moved, but we'll have 1 or 2 cars on there. There's no one we could call?
Unless we do a state of emergency, we can't do anything.
You know, just, I mean, even to ask them,
Well, you can go and knock on their door and ask them if they'll move their car. Some of them, the snow was gone, and they still hadn't moved their cars,
Yeah.
so, but they're just,
I mean, there isn't, you can't call the police officer
no,
or-
the police officer cannot ask them to move their car, they're legally parked, if I'm not mistaken, unless we do a state of emergency.
All right,
And,
because
it's.
I did it once.
There's nothing wrong with you knocking on your neighbor's
Oh,
door
yeah,
and
no,
asking them
there
to move
isn't,
it.
but,
But and it's on every block.
yeah, I'm
But
sure.
it was much better this last time, there were only a handful that really didn't
Yeah,
cooperate.
the last one
Was really good.
that Ford's parking lot was
Yeah.
jammed up there.
Yeah, so,
So, all
But,
right, thanks, I just thought
yeah.
I'd ask, just in case.
okay, don't put that in a minute, Dan, 'cause- Does anyone on the board have anything for board forum? If not, we'll be getting some information from you. We're working on the budget, and Ann will be getting some stuff out. Michelle's getting it to Ann, and then Ann will get it to all of you. And then we'll have a workshop, and, we'll go over everything, so. Our next meeting is actually our budget meeting on Monday, April 11th at 5 PM here, and our next monthly meeting is Monday, the 18th at 6:20 here. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
All in favor? Opposed? And it's carried.
No, I know it.